This week we are looking at what features we expect to make the first sim update for 2024 and also a World Hub Alpha update. Before we get into that, let's check out all of this week's previews and announcements and release news, so let's jump into the video. Kicking off this week's previews and announcements, we are in the swing of 2024 and so is PMDG with their announcements. PMD mentioned this week that the 777 development is going well, but they are still unable to provide a project release date. Many features still need to be baked into the 777 as many items are being tested, tweaked and improved to bring the most feature-rich 777 we have seen. PMDG's Beta 5 of the 777 has just been given to testers and the team is currently on many short-haul flights from battery on to battery off to put the aircraft systems through as many cycles as possible. Since the beta testing started, the testing team has reported 359 issues, with the development team resolving 263 of them. PMDG hope to preview the flight deck of the 777 by now, but they're holding off a little longer, so we may see some teasers of the 777 cockpit sometime soon. Just Flight this week updated us on the development of the PA-38 Tomahawk for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The team mentioned that the Tomahawk is now their main focus, and in the last weeks there have been some significant progress made inside the cockpit covering customization and system coding. The cockpit lighting has now been implemented and the team is implementing a bunch of customized options that can be controlled by the aircraft's EFB. Just Flight will cover more details about the EFB in future development updates. This was the second update from the team in the last 2 months about the Tomahawk, so hopefully we won't have to wait too much long before we see the Tomahawk in our sims. Majestic is the development team behind the iconic Dash 8 Q400 from the Peak 3D days. The last update from the team was way back in 2022, and one of the developers in their forums this week mentioned that they have been quiet in their forums. This isn't due to the lack of development. In fact, it's the development of the Dash 8 has been continuing and they've been focusing on this. Majestic mentioned in the forums that the development is currently continuing steadily and they plan to share more information and images when they are satisfied with the progress. In the original announcement from Majestic, they announced that they plan to bring the Q100 from P3D and update it to the current Microsoft Flight Simulator sim standards. Then they will move on at developing the Q300 version, which will be developed from scratch and native to Microsoft Flight Simulator. This update for the team is pretty vague, however it's still confirming that the project is still continuing, which is great news. Sim Solutions announced this week they are developing the Learjet 75. The team released the Diamond DA20 last summer and now they announced a Learjet 75 is in their development. With this announcement, the team mentioned they have access to the real aircraft and direct input from real-world Learjet pilots. This will ensure that the project has exclusive access to pictures and videos, ensuring a high level of accuracy for the 3D model. Key features that we should expect from the release when it does release has been announced thus far is a Garmin G5000 avionics, a Garmin FMS, customized flight model, the use of main cabin doors, 8K textures, accurate modeling and materials used inside and out, fully modeled cabin, custom lighting, and Sim Solutions indicated the announcement that the Learjet 75 will be a comprehensive and time-intensive process, so there's no release date to be expected anytime soon from them. TFDI has updated us on their MD11 over on their Discord page this week. The project is now up to 60 days from its release date of the collector's edition to the special ticket holders. TFDI did mention since November the aircraft has progressed so much that the current version compared to the one that was released is almost unrecognizable as being the same aircraft. That being said, there is still work to be done and the team is currently overhauling the autopilot system to make it even more realistic and closer to the real aircraft. They are working closely with MD11 pilots and engineers to make the most accurate version of the autopilot. TFDI added in the same post there is many quality of life improvements coming to the project. The team wanted the MD11 to be feature completed by January, however this seems to be doubtful, so the team will not be confirming any release dates for the moment. TFDI has no plans plans on releasing the MD11 as an unfinished state, and from the sounds of it, we may not see the MD11 in our sims as quickly as we once thought. As always, we will keep you posted with our weekly update videos. If you are following projects like the TFDI MD11, please consider subscribing. We are planning on following all the developments when it comes to the projects throughout the year, including new sim developments. So please consider subscribing if you'd like to stay up to date, and bosh that like button. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and we would love to have you on board before we hit that milestone. Thank you for your support. Moving over to this week's release news, Yorman this week have released its Yorman Arrow controller. The team has been in development with this controller for some time now, and now it has been released. The Arrow controller is designed to be a complement to the Traveler flight sim user. The Arrow can be a primary controller for your laptop, tablet, and desktop system. Designed to have aviation-centric features and movements to control your aircraft in the sim, Yorman mentions that the Arrow is great for sitting back at home or at your desk, kicking your feet up, or easily tossing the Yorman into your carry-on for flying or using it on your laptop when you're traveling. The Yorman is compatible with many current sims, including Microsoft Flight Simulator, X-Plane 11 and 12, Infinite Flight for Android, Prepared 3D, and DCS World. Not compatible with any iOS devices, unfortunately. Features include with the Arrow controller is integrated trim wheel, 5-button D-pad, a 5-way hat switch, 2 shoulder bumper buttons, 2 vernier style engine controller sliders, 2 faceplate sliders, and mechanical link triggers simulating pedals. The FS Elite team has published a detailed review of the Arrow controller. If you're interested, I would recommend checking that review out. Links in the description of where you can catch that one. You can pick up your Yorman Arrow controller directly from their store or the Sporty store. Links in the description below. Real Turbulence this week releases its new mod product, which is Cat Areas Global version 2. Cat Areas Global aims at significantly improving the way turbulence is rendered in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This add-on aims to make the simulator skies more lifelike and dynamic. Real Turbulence Cat Area Global introduces the advanced logic of simulations for en route turbulence and terrain, including turbulence. The previous version of the mod relied heavily on information for Sigma and Cat for those areas. This new version analyzes the actual wind conditions at the aircraft's position wherever it is in the world. This method detects wind shifts and variations, creating turbulence effects that are more accurately positioned and reflective of real-world conditions. Induced turbulence has been added, which adds real-world turbulence effects to low altitudes. Features include with this release is global coverage, turbulence effects based on winds versus terrain analysis and wind variations and speed, realistic custom-made turbulent effects, custom-made turbulent sounds, and you can pick up your copy of Real Turbulence Cat Area Global version 2 from the Sim Market store. Links in the description below. Apex Gaming PCs and the Oz Flight Simmer channel have partnered up to create a range of gaming flight simmer PCs tailored to flight simulation pilots in mind. The private pilot and the commercial pilot range has been designed to provide a great frame rates if you are on a budget, or if you're an experienced simmer and want to take your simming to the next level. You can even customize to suit your virtual pilot needs. Links in the description below if you want to check out the new range of Oz Flight Simmer PCs, the private pilot and the commercial pilot. Moving over to this week's sim update news. This week the Microsoft team are back with their second update for 2024. Earlier this week Microsoft announced that their applications are now live to join the World Hub closed alpha test, and it's now open for those applications. The World Hub, which was complete on the Microsoft Flight Simulator team's end for many months now, but it has been on pause waiting for sign-offs to be able to roll it out to the community. If you are not familiar with the World Hub tool, it aims at bringing access to simmers in the community to submit corrections to any updated default airport so they can better match the real-world counterparts. Applications are now live. You can submit your interest to help test the hub before its full release. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can check out more information about the applications for World Hub over at their forums in the description below. Microsoft Flight Simulator's first development live stream for 2024 will be on January 31st. It was announced this week, and we are expecting this next development live stream to hear more about the next world update and also the next sim update, which will be sim update number 15, and also some more information about the World Hub, which we previously mentioned. That being said, this week we were treated with a new active development wish list, and still on the cards for the next sim update, which will be sim update number 15, is the release of of the Airbus A320neo. This is the one that was pushed back with the last sim update, and we're expecting it to release with sim update 15. Aircraft fixes will continue for the 40th anniversary aircraft, ongoing world update fixes. Also, Microsoft plans on adding Yarman controller support for the flight sim in that update. Ongoing updates to performances that are decreasing by the pop-ups that's been going on for a while. We'll have some new ones in this sim update, and also updates to the air traffic improvements. And also the ground improvements that were mentioned in the last development live stream. They were hinted that they will make this sim update, but they haven't been mentioned with the active development roadmap just far, but we thought we would mention it anyway. This week on the marketplace backlog list, we've seen a total deduction of 35 to be a total of 186 new products when it comes to the backlog list. Aircrafts are up to 40 on the backlog list, with 26 aircraft in the third-party testing. Missions are holding steady at 46, sceneries are down by 14, liveries are down by 12, airports are down by 13, and others are down by 1. This week in the in-sim marketplace, we saw 2 new aircraft releases. Both of these are available for PC and Xbox. Just Flight have released its Arrow Vulcan for PC and Xbox on the in-sim marketplace, and of course a weekly marketplace release wouldn't be without a new MS Series released aircraft. This time it is the X2. And the remainder of this week's sim marketplace releases is made up of 6 livery packs, 1 challenge pack, 8 scenery packs, 2 night lighting packs, and 12 airports. If you got this far in the video, please bosh that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. As we mentioned before, we are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. We would love to have you on board before we hit that milestone. We also stream a bunch of times each week, so feel free to check our stream schedules in the description below and come fly with us sometime. And as always, we will see you either in the stream or in a video sometime very soon. Thank you for your support.